Nations kicks off this Saturday, the 13th of January, with the opening match between Ivory Coast, that's the host country, and Guinea-Bissau. And ahead of their opening fixture game on Sunday, Nigeria Super Eagles are already in Abidjan, and tactical trainings have intensified. Nigeria are in Group A and will face off counterpart Equatorial Guinea in their first game of the tournament.
Nigeria Super Eagles have commenced tactical training sessions after arriving in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire for the Africa Cup of Nations. The team landed the host nation on Wednesday and could only do a recovery session same day. Coach Jose Peseiro says the focus is on Nigeria's first game of the tournament against Equatorial Guinea.
Not only the training, in the meals, in the rest, in the meetings, all the activity, we must put our maximum focus because this match, the next match, we cannot commit mistakes. We cannot put 100% or more than each one, and do a collective game or win the first match. It's important for us. Now we need only about the first match.
The Nigerian team have had their share of injury concerns, with Victor Boniface the latest casualty. But Leicester City's Kelechi Iheanacho has recovered from a thigh injury and is expected to join the squad in the coming days.
He arrived 14 because he played 13 with the team, and Kelechi arrived 13. We're in contact with the physiotherapist, with the medical staff and the staff. We have contact with all the staff, our players. For that he is work there for recover, because we have confidence in them, good material, good equipment, and they said for us we arrive and done right, okay, for start to training 100%.
Reports say every player in camp is fit and looking forward to realizing the team's target of winning the tournament. The Eagles are in Group A and would compete against Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, and the host nation, Côte d'Ivoire, in the group stage.
All right, talking about the AFCON games beginning on Saturday, this Saturday that is, joining us in the studio is sports journalist Solomon Ajuziogu, and via Zoom from Côte d'Ivoire is CAF accredited football journalist. He's also the chief editor, SoccerNet.ng, Ayomide Oguntimehin. Gentlemen, welcome to TVC Breakfast. Let's start off with Solomon in the studio here. And we were speaking earlier on, Governor Sanwo-Olu, while bidding farewell to the Super Eagles, told the Super Eagles, don't grieve for anyone, no grief for anyone as you go on and expectedly make the nation proud. But in terms of preparation, really, observing the trends of this crop of Super Eagles, how expectant are you, Solomon?
Now, let me bust your bubble. I'm particularly indifferent about the Super Eagles. I'm not one who invests so much emotions in this, because when you invest so much emotions, I do not consider myself a fan. So when you invest so much emotions, right, you are not going to be dispassionate in your analysis. So I do not invest a lot of emotions. But the results, you know, the beautiful thing about football is that it's statistical. The results speak for themselves. So you have a situation where the Super Eagles have struggled against the teams they should naturally beat in the World Cup qualifiers. These World Cup qualifiers, the two we have played so far, have been the preparatory games in the real sense for this tournament. They came at the right time. But then when you look at the performance of the Super Eagles in those games, then there's so much to be desired.
So looking at the preparation, are you, like she has asked that question, but are you optimistic that against Côte d'Ivoire we will do well?
Ivory Coast is the host team, and it's also a West African team. West African teams play a particular style. You know, when you go around the world, the style of football everywhere, every region, every confederation, there is an underlying philosophy when you go from continent to continent. In West Africa, the sort of football we play in West Africa is similar to what you call the Joga Bonito of the South Americans, you know, the little passing, more expressive football.
Beautiful football.
Exactly. And then West African players have energy, they have speed, they have strength, they are skillful. South Americans are also skillful, maybe not as strong, but they are naturally stronger than the Europeans. But the Europeans are more strategic, more technical. They have to go to school to learn most of these things. Our boys learn the thing on the street, you know, so that's the difference. Now, you come to West Africa, it's always very difficult to play a fellow West African country. One, there is the rivalry, you know, the bragging right. Then there is the thing about the style of play. Now, to talk about this, that we also have a Portuguese coach. The Portuguese play like the South Americans, Brazilians particularly, and that suits our own way of playing as well. Okay. So, Ivory Coast, they've always produced very good players. They've always had very good teams. This is the second time they'll be hosting the tournament. They've won it once. They won in Senegal in '92 on West African soil, you know, as it were. When they hosted in 1984, they did not win. We performed creditably well in that tournament, you know, losing to Cameroon, you know, and all of that. But then we have a situation where, well, home advantage is a very strong thing. Whether these Super Eagles have got the temperament to play against a home team with the home advantage and with the sort of talent that Ivory Coast has.
All right. Okay, let's take this to Ayomide Oguntimehin, who is already in Côte d'Ivoire, and you know, so from what you've seen so far in terms of preparations, of course, the Super Eagles, just like the other participating teams, have been making earnest preparations and trainings ahead of their big matches. As comes up, is it on Sunday against Equatorial Guinea? But from what you've seen, how pleased are you? Solomon here was talking about you know, the somewhat disappointing performance of the Super Eagles before now in their recent matches preparatory to this championship. But what's it like for you?
Personally, when it comes to AFCON is a game of strength, and you know, you have to you can't explore your skills. You know, you just have to give results. You have to, you know, tussle with strength, because Africans generally they play with strength. So when it comes to that style of play that our coach Josep Pesero is putting in, I don't think we can actually give that result, because we have to play with strength. Let me talk about Solomon was talking about statistics. That football is a game of statistics. I agree with that. You know, but when it comes to statistics, I'm not sure that the 2013 set we're going to win that third trophy if it was game of statistics, because I think it was they are trying to. I think this 2023 set is more or less like a replica of what happened in 2013. I just hope that, you know, they are going to give us something like a deja vu, you know, when it comes to winning the fourth trophy. So it is not, to me, I don't think statistics, as regards statistics, Nigeria cannot do it again. It is that they can't do it again. But the only thing that can work here is just the strength. That's all.
Okay, so looking at you are in Côte d'Ivoire at this point, and of course covering this AFCON 2024. What are you seeing there with the Super Eagles preparation for this game as against other teams?
Well, right about now we are faced with a lot of injury. Yeah, natural. We don't know much about. Is doubtful. Umar Sadiq is out, according to reports this morning. Onachi is going to replace him, which is 9 minutes, and a lot of that. But not looking at the the number of injuries. Osimhen is the only striker that is going to play, is the only number 9 that is fit to play against Equatorial Guinea on Sunday. So looking at that, although I do not know the much information about Equatorial Guinea at the moment, but as it stands, I think that with the likes of Ahmed Musa, in the team, the likes of Moses Simon in the team, and and others, I think Chukwueze also is still there. Not to forget, and Ademola Lookman is still there. Although number 9 is stand by Victor Osimhen, but what if there's no replacement, if anything? So we all need to just pray to God for Victor Osimhen and just give him all the strength he needs right now. So with others, Onyedika is also Frank Oyeka is also there, in the middle, and Alex Iwobi, don't forget, is still there. So I think we should be able to get all points against Equatorial Guinea on Sunday.
All right. Let's bring this to Solomon. So what do you really think? Regardless of the injuries of some of the Super Eagles, what do you think? Is it enough to dampen expectations? Or we can still
Nigeria should never be a team that bothers so much about injury when you look at the plethora of talents available to the country. In the place of Boniface, you have Terem Murphy. In the place of even Kelechi Iheanacho, you have Emmanuel Dennis. You have a whole lot of other strikers who were on the 41 or 43-man list, as it were, so that could come in to replace them. So Nigeria shouldn't be bothered. You are talking about the issues about praying, for goodness sake. Well, it is good to pray. There's nothing wrong in praying. But the Ivorians pray. The Guinea-Bissau people pray. The Equatorial Guineans pray. Brazilians pray. In fact, in football, nobody prays as much as the Brazilians. And they are the best team in the world. So there's nothing wrong in praying. But it is not the prayer that gives you the victory in the real sense, but preparation. So it is a prayer that meets preparations. So if you do not prepare, then it's a problem for you. The class and the quality of Nigeria shouldn't worry so much about injury, even though you always want to go to the battlefront with your best players. But I think that Nigeria has sufficient talent. Whether there's sufficient belief in the coach, in his tactical approach, in his preferred formation, in his preferred style, in the way he wants to deploy the players, whether it will work is another thing. But I think that first and foremost, the injury problem, someone like Omar Sadiq, I didn't think he should have been called up in the first place. That's a guy who for a whole season couldn't really play football because of a very serious injury. And since he got back, he has not been able to play any full game for his club. He's still recovering, as it were, so they bring him in, they are managing him, and then the next thing, not long after he's back, and then we are calling him for the Nations Cup. Then he's a major tournament, actually. It's an international tournament that requires a lot of grit, a lot of power. I would have thought that he should have been left out to be allowed to fully recover, to get back his form in his club, as it were. He's playing okay for his club, but I thought that they should have left him out. So with the injury problem, maybe I'm not a bit surprised. I mean, he has injury issues. For Boniface, well, it's unfortunate, You invite players to the team, to the national team, based on their performances in their clubs. So they are not people who are strange bedfellows. They've been playing together. The reason why it will also be easy, for instance, to lose to Guinea in the friendly match would also be because of these injury issues.
Okay. Players don't want to get injured. New formations.
Players don't want to get injured, leading to major tournaments. Leading to major tournaments like this, players do get injured everywhere in the world. Anxiety to play, approach. The tension is there and all of that. And then the conditioning levels, and then players move from a different playing culture to come home, to come and play. Those things happen all the time. Now, I'm worried. When the coach was talking, he talked about a different strategy, a different formation. And people have implied that he does not intend to play that style. But the way he spoke, maybe because he's not a good speaker of English, but he sounded to me like it's a formation he wants to adopt, and that he tested that formation because that is the formation he wants to adopt. I wait to see. When the team lines out, then I will know what formation he wants to play. Whether he wants to play that new formation is the 3-4-3 system. And that 3-4-3, you played against Guinea, you got beaten, you know. But the 3-4-3 system also has its advantages. But whether you have practiced enough, whether you have done it enough for the players to get used to it is another thing.
All right. So let me go to Ayomide Oguntimehin, of course, in Côte d'Ivoire. Looking at the crop of players we have, are you concerned about the fact that foreign-based players are regularly called up, and sometimes we have local players called up, maybe on just a few of them, going for international tournaments?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
I was asking about the concern, if you're concerned about the fact that when we have international tournaments, we have foreign-based players that are regularly called up. But we always have very few local-based players in local clubs in Nigeria called up for international tournaments, for instance, the AFCON 2024. Are you concerned about that?
Okay, well, a little bit, but one thing I know is that most of the countries here, you know, came with their best legs, and I feel Pesero is coming with his own, you know, best legs, you know, for the events. Although at some points we feel that there should be the inclusion of home-based players, just like we had Sunday Mba in 2013, and a lot of them like that. But at the moment, I feel there should be, it will be a little, you know, I think the home-based player would put in little, you know, at this point.
Why?
Because,
they've been playing together here for the whole, at the FPFL. So why would they put in quite little?
Now, Joseph Pesero has not been making use of home-based players since he came in. I can't remember the last time he made use of an home-based player. He has been making use of, he feels the foreign-based players are much more professional, you know, and, you know, they can make use of the opportunity with what they are doing at their club level, you know, also at the international stage. So I feel their inclusion might not actually give much, you know, there should be unity in the team. So I do not feel it's much of a concern for me at the moment, because Joseph Pesero is used with this set of players. That's it.
All right, Solomon, talking about motivation, yes, you've said there is a place for adequate preparations, but in terms of you know, motivation, how motivated the Super Eagles are. Recently, before they left, days before they left, the president cleared you know, substantial backlogs of bonuses owed the Super Eagles. How far do you think this will go in spurring them to victory?
I do not know, because first and foremost, I thought that the president did not need to do that.
Why?
Because it shouldn't be the responsibility of the Nigerian Federation. It is the responsibility of the NFF. The NFF made so much money and made so much windfall from so much advertising. Between 2014 and 2022, you need to check out how much the Super Eagles made, how much the NFF made, and you begin to wonder, where did all the monies go? Why will they owe coaches? Why will they owe players in allowances? Not just the Super Eagles, but all the national teams. Why would they owe anybody at all? Because we are talking about huge, you know, huge amount of money going maybe for as far as $20 million, you know, that the NFF made over this period, and you ask, where did these monies go to? So the federal government shouldn't be paying some of these monies. For instance, you are going to the World Cup, for instance. World Cup pays for itself when you go to the World Cup. All the matches you play, the qualifiers you play, is paid for by FIFA. Wow. So every time that these things come up, I'm always amazed. How do these things happen? You know? So, but I think that it's high time that the that the government begins to question some of this. It's not that you have given them money, let them come to account for the money. They will say, oh, okay, no, when FIFA gives us money, it is not your job that FIFA gives us money. But why should the federal government be paying for what has already been paid for? When you go to the World Cup, when you play through the group stages, the last time we went to the World Cup, we got as much as $12 million. So where did all this, where did all this money go to? So, but what we are saying is, look, the players have to motivate themselves to play. They are not just going to be playing for Nigeria, they are also playing for themselves. They want honors for their national team. The honor also goes to them, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But it all has to do with the form of the team. There's one thing to have a collection of very good players, another thing to build them into a team, which was what Stephen Keshi did in 2013. Nobody gave that team a chance. In fact, they had already purchased tickets for them to return home, and then one match. Just one match, and everything turned on its head, and the team went on to win. But then talking about the quota of home-based players, now, no matter what you do with Brazil, Brazil has a quota. Brazil has a quota for home-based players. Brazil has the highest collection of players all around the world. But there's always a quota for home-based players. One of the things I must say is that Nigeria is not the only one that is guilty of this. Nigeria has just one home-based player. Ivory Coast, the host, has just one home-based player. Many teams, many big teams in this tournament have just very, you know. So these are the things, okay? You want to always play your best, but there must be a formula that allows you to give local players the chance.
All right.
Keshi did that, and we saw the result.
Let's quickly have final takes from Ayodele now. So what do you think, Ayomide, I should say, what do you think? Let's just end with a short take from you as this games begin in earnest tomorrow.
Well, I'm not sure as it stands that the Super Eagles of Nigeria can do it again. Only a miracle can happen here.
Ayomide, Oguntimehin. All right, we'll wait and see how. We'll wait and see how that.
I expect Nigeria to qualify from the group.
Okay.
What happens after that?
With Côte d'Ivoire,
Nigeria will qualify. No, Nigeria from this group.
From this first round.
From this first round. From the first round, Nigeria and Côte d'Ivoire will qualify. Egypt and Ghana will surely do that. I mean, these are the teams with Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon are the teams with the highest wins in the tournament. Nigeria has the highest medals in this tournament. Okay. Nigeria, even though Egypt has won more times, but Nigeria has 17 medals from this tournament. So Egypt has 15 medals, even though they have more gold. You know, Nigeria has 3 gold, Cameroon has 5, Ghana has 4. So I expect Egypt to qualify, Senegal and Cameroon to qualify. From their group. Yeah, of course, I expect Algeria and Burkina Faso to come out from their group. Right. But what happens after that?
After that, we expect pleasant surprises. It's football.
It's football.
Gambia can come out.
It's football. They can get lucky.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. Well, maybe we should just take it one step at a time now. To save ourselves the distress, but of course, go, Super Eagles. And, you know, from our end here, we say thank you to the analysts at this time, sports journalist Solomon Ajuziogu, and of course, Ayomide Oguntimehin. Thanks a lot for speaking with us on TVC Breakfast. And let's just tell you before we go that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection at all with TVC News. From all of us here, thanks a lot for watching. We still have another date, and hopefully you keep that with us on Saturday for TVC Breakfast. See you then. Bye for now.